I found out my girlfriend was planning to spend a weekend with another man. And not just any man, but someone she had cheated on her ex-husband with years before. I froze when I saw it. 5 years. 5 years of what I thought was love and trust. Gone in a single moment of scrolling through her phone. We had a trip planned. A marathon weekend in Lutzen across the border. She loved running, always had, and we'd booked a hotel months ago. It was supposed to be fun. A shared adventure. Something we could both look forward to. But the closer it got, the more time she spent glued to her phone, chatting with other runners in the event. Something felt off, but I tried to ignore it. Then, a few weeks before the trip, she casually dropped the bomb. She wouldn't be coming with me. She'd drive down alone, sleep in her car, run the marathon, and that was it. I forced a smile when she said it, but inside, my chest tightened. My gut screamed red flags. I didn't say anything. That night, she stepped outside for a moment to check on the dogs, leaving her phone unlocked. Curiosity got the better of me. I glanced at her messages, and that's when I saw it. Plans for her to spend the weekend in a van with the same man she cheated with before. I didn't yell, didn't confront her. I just silently recorded a video of the messages. My hands shaking, my heart pounding. I went to bed that night pretending nothing had happened, but the weight of betrayal pressed down on me so heavily, it felt like I couldn't breathe, and I knew nothing would ever be the same. The next morning, I went through the motions like a ghost. I got up, showered, dressed, and kissed her on the cheek before leaving for work. The same routine I'd done 1,000 times before. Only this time, it felt like I was performing in a play I'd never auditioned for. Her face looked normal, even sweet, and I almost laughed bitterly at how easy it was to hide the truth behind a smile. She wasn't working that day, her wrist injury still making her stay home, so I knew she'd be around. Every message, every glance at my phone, made my stomach twist. I kept replaying the text I just recorded in my mind, reading her words over and over, imagining her with him. The betrayal wasn't just emotional. It felt like my entire life had been a lie. Then, mid-morning, my phone buzzed. Her name popped up. My hands tightened around the device as I read her message. "I hope you're thinking of me." I froze. Thinking of her? Of course I was. I thought of her running in a hotel room far away, smiling at him instead of me, laughing at jokes I'd never hear. My thumb hovered over the keyboard, and then I did something I never thought I would. I sent her the video of her own messages to him. It felt like dropping a bomb into the middle of our living room. And I waited, heart hammering, palms sweaty, for her response. Her reply came almost instantly. "I'm so sorry. I should never have done this." Reading those words, I felt a strange mix of relief and fury. Relief that she admitted it, that the truth was finally out, but fury at the casual way she'd planned to throw away years of us. My chest tightened. My hands curled into fists. Couldn't trust her, not ever again. I typed back carefully, every word weighed. "I can no longer trust you. It's over." The silence that followed was deafening. Felt like the house itself was holding its breath. I watched the empty living room, imagining her in that van with him, laughing, planning, pretending. I tried to focus on work, but nothing could distract me. My thoughts kept circling back, each loop sharper, heavier. By the time I got home, the house was empty. Her side of the bed was made, the coffee cups from the morning gone. And then I saw the note on the counter. She had gone to her mother's house, the place she had lived with her sister before moving in with me. Just like that, she was gone. The weight of everything hit me then. 5 years vanished, and I was left alone, in the silence, trying to breathe. The first night alone felt unreal. I sat on the edge of the bed, staring at the dark ceiling, replaying every memory of us. How easy it was to remember the small things. The way she laughed at my terrible jokes, the way she'd fall asleep with her head on my shoulder. But now each memory felt poisoned, like a beautiful song played backwards. I kept checking my phone, almost hoping she'd text again, that maybe she'd change her mind. But nothing came. The apartment, usually warm with our shared life, felt hollow. Every corner reminded me of her. The mug she always drank tea from, the sneakers she left by the door, even the faint smell of her shampoo lingering in the bathroom. Sleep was impossible. I tossed and turned, heart racing, mind screaming questions I didn't want answers to. How could someone plan this so casually? How could she betray me so completely and still expect me to act normal? And in the back of my mind, there was another gnawing thought. What had I missed? How long had she been thinking about him while we were together? I realized then that I didn't just lose her. I lost the certainty I'd had about everything we shared. The next morning, I tried to force myself into a routine. I brewed coffee, put on the same work clothes I'd worn yesterday, and stared out the window at the street below. Life went on outside, people walking dogs, kids laughing, cars humming by, and here I was, stuck in a loop of anger and disbelief. I remembered the weekend we had planned, the hotel in Lutzen, the marathon, the long drive there together. I could almost see her running down the streets with him instead of me, the same routes we had planned. It made my stomach twist. Part of me wanted to call her, scream at her, demand answers. But I didn't, because I knew nothing she said now could fix it. Nothing could undo the betrayal. I found myself going through the messages again, watching her words to him over and over. There was something horrifyingly intimate about them, something that made my chest tighten in a way that hurt physically. And I realized that it wasn't just the act, it was the thought behind it, the planning, the deceit, that cut deeper than anything else. By late afternoon, I made a decision. I needed to get out, to move, to do something that reminded me I was still in control of my life. I grabbed my running shoes. The irony wasn't lost on me, and headed out the door. If she could run with him, I could run too. And maybe, just maybe, sweat out some of the anger that was eating me alive. I ran harder than I had in years, letting my legs pound the pavement and my lungs burn. The rhythm of it, the steady thump of my heartbeat, was the only thing keeping me from losing it completely. With every step, I imagined leaving her and him behind, leaving the lies behind, leaving the 5 years that felt like a lifetime crumbling in my rearview. Still, her face kept flashing in my mind. Her smile when she first kissed me, the way she'd excitedly plan little trips or surprise me with coffee on cold mornings. And then, like a knife twisting, I'd remember her texts to him, the casual way she had written about our life like it didn't even matter. By the time I got back, drenched in sweat and gasping for air, I felt a little lighter, though the anger was still there, simmering beneath the surface. I showered, trying to wash off more than just the sweat. I wanted to scrub away the betrayal, but of course that wasn't possible. I sat down on the couch, staring at the half-empty apartment, and for the first time, I allowed myself to feel something beyond anger. Sadness, disappointment, the quiet ache of realizing that someone I loved could hurt me so deeply, and with such ease. That night, I didn't sleep much. I kept replaying the past weeks, trying to pick out the signs I'd missed, the little moments that might have hinted at this. But the truth was, she had been careful, too careful. I realized how blind I'd been, how much I wanted to believe in us, in her. I pulled out my phone again, almost without thinking, and looked at old photos, her laughing at the beach, us cooking dinner, the stupid selfies we took on road trips. Each one made my chest tighten. I wanted to throw the phone across the room, but I couldn't stop staring. These memories weren't lies, but they felt meaningless now, like relics from a world that no longer existed. I thought about calling her mother's house, just to hear her voice, maybe get some sense of what she was feeling. But I didn't. I realized I didn't want to know. Not really. I didn't want explanations. I wanted justice, or maybe just a reason that didn't exist. So I sat there, in the quiet apartment, and let the tears come. Not just for her, not just for us, but for the version of myself that had believed in a future that would never happen. The next few days blurred together. I went to work, nodded at people, answered emails, pretended everything was normal. Inside, I felt hollow, like someone had scooped out a part of me and left a clean, empty space behind. I stopped checking my phone as much, not because it didn't hurt anymore, but because I knew every time I looked, I was hoping for something that wouldn't come. An apology that meant something. A message that said she'd realized what she lost. Deep down, I knew that even if she did send it, it wouldn't change anything. The trust was gone. And without that, there was nothing left to rebuild. One evening, I finally packed up the few things she'd left behind. Her mug, a hoodie she always stole from me, a pair of running socks she'd forgotten in the laundry. Each item felt heavier than it should have. I put everything in a box and slid it into the hall closet, telling myself I'd deal with it later. As I closed the closet door, I felt something shift inside me. Not relief exactly, more like a small, quiet acceptance. This wasn't just a bad week. This was the end of a chapter. Weeks passed, and slowly, life started to feel a little lighter, though the scar of betrayal was still raw. I had rebuilt routines, friendships, and even moments of quiet joy that I thought I'd lost forever. I ran marathons too, not because she ran them, but because I needed to reclaim that part of myself. Every finish line I crossed felt like a small victory over the betrayal, a reminder that I could survive, even thrive, after it. I never spoke to her again. I didn't need to. Closure came from within, not from her words or apologies. I learned to trust myself first, to listen to that voice that had whispered all along that something was off. That voice had been right, and now it guided me forward. Sitting in my apartment one evening, I looked around and saw it clearly. My life wasn't defined by what she had done. It was defined by how I chose to live after. I smiled, not bitterly, not sadly, but with quiet strength. The past was gone. The future, that was mine. And for the first time in years, I felt like I was exactly where I was supposed to be. Appreciate you listening. Subscribe and comment. It really helps the channel grow.